Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for February 19th to the 25th of 2023. So our quote for the week says, "Reclaim the full measure of your true nature." Ashe. Deep breath. This week, we are riding the cusp of Pisces and Aries energy. Pisces is where we incubate the new vision and we claim that wholeness within before we step forward with power and passion and purpose and play. We're adding play this year, y'all, to that Aries energy that's going to take us forward into spring. So, deep breath. We still have room in the Revelations class, and oh my God, when you hear about this Pisces super new moon, you're going to want to be in that class because we are so well supported for tapping into our dreams and our invisible teams, and our ancestors and angels and orishas and animal spirit guides are so available right now and excited about the prospects of our future if we would co-create and collaborate with them. So right now, the Soul Contracts master course that I'm doing with NASA is for those of you interested in actually creating deeper relationships and better collaborations and partnerships privately or publicly. Or like I'm working on some self things. I want a new relationship with me. I'm feeling good about being in the mountains. I love the new rhythm and routine that's unfolding. At the same time, I'm 30 years in with a marriage, so we're going to take that to the next level too. And NASA is such a brilliant channel. And as always, with many of these classes, we lay out a structure and an outline, and then the ancestors or the orishas come through and take over. So it's always magical, y'all. And all these goodies I'm getting into these days are definitely the advanced fast track. When you want to go to the next level, we've got some tools and tips for you. Meantime, let's dive into the forecast, because there's lots of other activities all this week I'm going to have to stop and pause and talk about. So let's go in the order of dates, which is generally how I roll. So our first activation for the week is on Sunday. Sunday's a very big day because that's our Pisces super new moon as well. Venus is going to sextile Pluto. This is delicious energy. Venus in Pisces is dreaming up those new relationships and partnerships. And Pluto's giving us the power to transform and transcend our old habits and negative patterns that we have in relationships, whether it's friendships or love or intimacy, all of the above. This energy deepens all emotions and strengthens bonds and attachments. Yeah, Pluto intensifies everything, even if it's in a good angle. Friendships and love relationships become much deeper and sometimes more intense, not to mention any physical sexual experiences. Being fake or superficial is never possible when Pluto is involved. And because Venus is involved, we're talking relationships or how you relate in general. So if you are needing to dig a little deeper with someone, you are supported. This energy can facilitate positive transformation in your relationships, partnerships, or collaborations. It will give you added power to help you change what needs changing, or at least get it on the table for a deeper discussion or a clearing conversation. Your emotional intensity may be at an unusually high level, so be sure to surround yourself with people who love you unconditionally, or try to be alone and just reflect on what you're feeling. Deep breath. Dang, that couldn't support us any better for that Soul Contracts class, y'all. We are all due for an upgrade, especially post-COVID, because we've been isolated and we've been separated from our peoples, and that's not cool. And we all are hungry for that next level of community and connection, whether it's intimate or otherwise. We need that, and we need to start practicing doing it again the right way, with good boundaries, with healthy boundaries, and protocols, which is going to be my department of that class. Same day, Pisces super new moon. This is an annual crossroads that we come to every year around this time. It is the completion of 12 new moons since the last Pisces new moon, March 2nd of 2022. How is it going a year later? No one is exempt. We all have a house in our charts ruled by Pisces. It is here that you should seed your intentions and precious vision for the next year at a minimum, with consideration of where you'd like to be at the 6-month midpoint, which is the Pisces super full moon this year on August 30th, 2023, when these very seeds will show their true promise. Consider that this crossroads is simultaneously an ending and the womb holding what will be birthed next. Virgo Pisces realms teach us about being a spirit in human form. How's that going for you at this time? It reminds us of the physical and emotional processing and integration that is necessary on a regular basis. Can you see any patterns in your health or consciousness, your physicality or spirituality, and how all these dynamics are part of who and what you are? This is our processing time prior to the choices and decisions that will have to be made around spring equinox. This month, you get to dream the new vision that you'd like to experience in the next 6 to 12 months at a minimum. We are also blessed with the additional rare energies of Venus, Saturn, and Neptune together in Pisces. Okay, so obviously Venus isn't that rare. She's annual. But Saturn only gets there every 30 years, and Neptune's only there every 165, and it's past its midpoint, so it's almost wrapping up, and everybody just start tickling the back of your brain around what it's going to feel like to have Neptune in Aries. Oh, my goodness. That's in a couple of years, y'all. So we do need to complete this vision before we launch it big time on the next go-round. But here, the fact that Venus is hanging out with Saturn and Neptune also speaks to the possibilities of us manifesting the most loving, compassionate, powerful, spiritual, deep connections, and add that imagination and creativity of Pisces to anything you're building with Saturn, anything that you're creating and bringing into form. Neptune is assisting you with channeling spirit, being a clean channel for spirit. And Venus is keeping you locked in on the right priorities and values so that whatever we create in the next 2 to 4 years is protective of ourselves and in service to others. Deep breath. What I wrote here is that they are helping us go even deeper to discover a new expanded dream of individual sovereignty and purpose, as well as stronger, more reciprocal relationships going forward. We are not going to find solutions in the old or linear way. We need to activate our imaginations and connect with the soul to find our way through the chaos of a collective rebirth. Deep breath. Sometimes you have to put the monkey mind in a timeout and let your imagination lead the way. Give yourself ample time and space to do this over the course of this month and next because you are clarifying what you would like to initiate come Aries time. But this year, the Aries lunation brings with it a whole new lunar rhythm, a new life path and direction, and new Aries Libra eclipses to deal with. The visioning and incubation of that vision in Pisces will lead directly to what we activate, animate, and express in Aries this year. And Aries is bigger because Jupiter's there once in 12 years. Chiron's there healing everything about you, the individual, and your purpose, and your passion, and your ability to play and be a child of God, a child of Mother Earth. All of that is being rebirthed in the next month or so. So we need to take this time to dream, to contact our higher self, to do that in community so that our individual next levels ripple out to the social collective and raise everybody up, right? Deep breath. Now, to that end, on the 20th, I've only been talking about Sunday so far. Monday the 20th, we have our monthly money pouring ritual with Yeye Louise Satish. In order to join us there, you do have to join her Patreon for $5 or more per month. She has, 6 or 8 tiers, and you get all kinds of goodies, of course, the more you contribute. But that base level is for our public community, and so that everybody and anybody who wants to join can join. And that $5 a month to get the money pouring alone is going to help you increase your cash flow. So it is working, y'all. It is changing the energy and vibration around our prosperity and abundance and how we define our terms around money. Many of you have heard me talk about when I do my prayer work or when I light a blue candle, it's always about infinite creative flow, infinite energetic flow, and infinite cash flow. Because in our society and Western culture and the cash dollar, that's the purest form of money. In my opinion, credit is fake. All the rest of it is not real. So this is the purest form because no one can own it. It's part of the flow. the more we do this in community, the more we increase our flow 100 times, y'all. That's the thing. When two or more gather, right? And we got hundreds and thousands between me and Yeye. So join us if you are working on your prosperity and abundance right now. We do a really beautiful, fun ritual every month around the new moon. So this is also going to be blessed by this Pisces super new moon, increasing our flow, again, energy and otherwise. On that same day, Monday the 20th, Venus enters Aries until March 16th. We want to consider this an introduction to your newly initiated self. Venus has just made a full journey through the signs, activating your inner sacred feminine. So the last time she was in Aries was May 2022. How have you grown and evolved? How have your values and priorities shifted regarding your personal independence, individual power, deepest passion, and true purpose? What is complete and what is initiating, where your relationships, finances, and magnetics are concerned? We'll talk about that too all this week. What is it all worth to you? What is the difference in how you expressed yourself pre-2020 COVID and how you want to express in new ways now post-2020 COVID, right? So we're just making that 2020 as a demarcation, y'all. And it's not alone. Exactly back the whole North Node cycle back to 2001, 19 years, is when we had September 11th and we got a similar social collective worldwide interruption in our flow, in ourselves, in our jobs, in our home lives, everything. So let's work with that consciously so that we can pull the best out of this one. Because, honey, ain't nothing new under the sun. And the American government has no imagination. So they are totally just repeating ridiculousness. So what has to change is us. They ain't going to change. We got to change. And we are changing. As a community, we are rising above all this and creating our own systems, getting on the ground with things so we're not so tied to the virtual reality. How's your real reality going? What have you learned about yourself in the last year? What have you learned about your immediate friends, family, community, and your place and preferences within each connection? This is the upgrade time, rebirth. Are your relationships a vibrational match? Do they embody conscious equal partnership and the reciprocity that feels delicious, sincere, joyful, and balanced? Ashe, let's call all that in. It's also a good time to look at the houses and planets with Aries energy activated to know what specifics are coming up for you personally. Venus is all about your innate magnetics, what you naturally magnetize and naturally repel. And Aries is all about being brave, walking by faith, and getting things started. When we have a deep passion and true purpose, we lead by example, and that is the energy within you being renewed at this time. As you are able to anchor this renewed sense of self, identity, and purpose that you've developed over the last year or so, there will be new opportunities for new relationships and collaborations, but you may have to lead. Remember, when you know who you are and what you want, and you are willing to be individually responsible, you inspire others to carry their own weight and be responsible for their own energy and vibration. It's always you is an old adage of mine. That means whatever we are magnetizing into our life is but a reflection of what is within. You can take your power back by being responsible for what is within and around you. And that automatically shifts your outer world in brilliant, beautiful, and completely unexpected ways. More than ever, we have to operate from heart center. You have to actually care to get engaged. And so often you must clear away all that you do not care about so that what you do care about has more room to grow, evolve, and expand. This Venus work is going to be very personal for those with Aries, Libra, and Cancer, Capricorn activated in their charts this month. Next day, Tuesday the 21st, Mercury square Uranus. Now, this is the hardest one. We got to change our mind or change our thinking about something this week in order to conceive or birth this new vision. This is Aquarius to Taurus, so it's your unique contribution butting up against trying to shift things around in your literal reality where food, sex, and money are concerned, on the ground, the basics, your personal security and creature comforts. So deep breath. This energy challenges you to expand your mind or consciousness in a way, pushing you to think differently and respond to information in new ways. Uranus brings sudden aha moments, personal awareness, and radical new ideas, which is great for you adventurous souls who thrive on change and innovation. However, if you are personally attached to your routine and things going as planned, then this energy can cause a little aggravation and tax your nervous system because things will seem sudden, even though it is more likely that they have been brewing under the surface for some time now. You will have to adjust and be more open and mentally flexible than usual. You may not be able to control the excessive mental activity or information overload coming in, but hopefully you can direct it a bit. It's good to activate or clean your personal filters by taking some time in nature to process things at your own pace and generally clear your head. This can be a very inspiring and creative time, so try to tune into that while keeping in mind that anything you begin or get into may require a review later so that you can check over the details of your revelations or creations. You're just cracking the surface. This is all about the revelation or awakening of now. You will eventually have to figure out the logistics or effective actions necessary to bring your ideas into form later. But for now, open up to new possibilities. That doesn't actually sound so bad. The square is a challenge to grow out of comfort zone into new territory. Mercury is your lower mind, your individual thinking. Uranus is collective consciousness and our higher mind and what liberates us to the higher levels, right? So some of you might have heard me say along the way, because I'm all into the planetary cycles, that if we get our Jupiter and Saturn together, which is our truth and purpose, then it goes to Chiron, which connects Saturn. It runs between Saturn and the outer planet. Saturn's the last planet we can see with the visible eye. So if we get our truth and purpose together and then move through Chiron, which happens to everyone around the age of 50, where we heal, integrate all that we've learned, and deepen our dedication to soul work around that time as well. You know, you just come into a certain kind of wholeness. If it's ever going to happen, that's kind of when it starts. And if we get through that healing and education and soul work piece, then we can get to higher consciousness, which is Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Uranus is the awakening. Neptune is that connection to God and spirit and all that is. Pluto's that utter transcendence, going to that complete next level and rebirthing whatever it touches. So the fact that it's messing with Venus this week also indicates that our relationships and finances and magnetics and aspects of Venus are up for renewal, deep, permanent renewal at that. So we can call in some good long-term juju that will support our relationships at a higher level. Now, Wednesday the 22nd, I have an event with NASA scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern, but I can't figure out what it is. I think it might be Wednesdays with Odu, where they check in with getting messages from our invisible team and our Orishas and our ancestors. So stay tuned and look for the link for that. But I don't want to miss out, and I don't want you to miss out if it is open to the public. Same day, Wednesday the 22nd, Mercury's going to trine Mars. So that's interesting. This is a great alignment of your thoughts and actions. Clarity is effortless, and you can follow your instincts. Be mindful of the element, too. In this case, Aquarius to Gemini is air. So this is your thoughts, ideas, and concepts. But it is also the element related with the heart chakra. Deep breaths will assist you with navigating this energy. Air moves energy and awakens things, clears and cleanses in its own way, and gives us a way to lighten up when it is needed most. This is a great energy which gives you the courage to think things through, and it activates your ability for strategic problem solving if and when necessary. You will have direct access to your authentic inner voice, so if you need or want an expressive outlet, you are likely to find one. It's also a great energy for small gatherings for spiritual, creative, and or intellectual exchange. So again, we got stuff to do all week, y'all, of getting together in these juicy, delicious ways. And it's so supported by the energies. So let's enjoy it. Just keep in mind your own elemental balance as well and how you naturally work with the air element in your own life. Okay, deep breath. I love it because I'm one of them people that's real heavy on earth, fire, and water, and I have to bring the air in consciously. So when it gets to air time, I love it. It balances me out. Now, on the 23rd, I don't know how many of you all were along for the ride, but there is a book out there called Cosmos and Psyche by Richard Tarnas, who was a historian turned astrologer. Now, when this book came out in '07, I was hot to trot and talking about big cycles all over the world. And to anyone who would listen, because I was so engaged and I was so dedicated to breaking negative patterns individually, socially, and collectively, I love that book. Well, it was all a little conceptual for folks at that time, but now they done made a movie. They made a 10-part movie, and it was really amazing. And they go through the history, and they have the good footage and photos, and they tie it into the astrological larger cycles of the outer planets and things. It's so juicy. They call it Changing of the Gods. And it was also, I was so excited to see Yay Louise Satish in there as well. And so it's all in the family. And Yay and I have already discussed doing a screening, because part of the reason they encouraged us to buy the whole series, which I did, was so that we could share it with the world and get this knowledge and wisdom and understanding out there. So when we figure that one out, we'll let you know. Meantime, they're doing some kind of highlight on the 23rd where you can check in and see if you are interested in going deeper with understanding the bigger cycles. And it's a free event, but you do have to register. So that link is in here. And then on the 25th, which is Saturday, is Yay's book party. Now, I think she's written about 35 books, but this one is Calabash of Cowries, Ancient Wisdom for Modern Times. And she is a storyteller, y'all. So it's all kinds of delicious stories in there. And she's doing a book launch party that's open to the public as well and free, Saturday the 25th, 4 to 5:30 Pacific time. Again, you got to register to get in, though. It's a Zoom. Both of those events are Zooms that you have to register for. But we'd love to have you. And I'm cooking up Whale for the new Soul Sisters Circle for March. That is the archetype of the mystic. And then the next live ceremony with the Soul Sisters Circle will be for spring equinox. I'll be doing extra equinox juju with Yay and other ways. We are still working that out, because originally we were going to be in New Orleans, and now I think she might be still in Oakland. But we'll be cooking up something for that crew too. So this is a delicious week, y'all, as the moon moves through Pisces, Aries, into Taurus. We're in this incubation of a new vision zone. We're taking into account all these upgrades to our individuality and our purpose and our desires and all that. We are so well supported to step up our game and start preparing for movement and action in spring. So hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. I'll catch you next week if I did. Oh, I did upload the community event where I covered the 2023 supermoons. That's been uploaded to the podcast channel and the YouTube channel. The other two things I'm about to upload in both places is last month's Venus Circle with Teresa Reese and this month's Venus Circle with Miss Marion Kelly. What we've decided to do is, even though Venus Circle is a subscription and it is a circle, we are opening up these collaborations to the public so that we can have a wider audience, so that these young ladies that I love and that I respect their insights and gifts and have invited them in to share them with us, because when we're on the reclamation side of the Venus Circle, we are, again, consciously stepping up to our new levels. And when we do that, after clearing out so much and releasing so much over the last year or two, if we don't learn some new practices or have some new goals in those departments of life, then it's very easy to just slip back into old habits and things. So these ladies all come from a different perspective with their own unique expertise, and they have these tools and circles of their own that can also support my people going forward. So definitely stay in touch around that and look for those uploaded to the podcast and YouTube channels as well. It's kind of like what I did with Storytime in the last Venus cycle. And for those of you who've heard me talk about that, I just had someone else, they were like, I can't find it. It's on my YouTube channel, but it's from last year. So you have to scroll to last year, or I think you can search and just put in Karmic Tools Storytime or Venus Circle Storytime. It should come up right on my channel. And those stories are straight out of Wisdom's Daughters, How Women Can Change the World by Kathy Pagano. And so we love her too. She is a cohort in our community. And I talked her into teaching a class on that book. So we didn't use it again because she's got a class cooking now finally to introduce us to that. And hopefully she'll run that again this year as well. All right, that's it for real. I'm going to let you go. Reach out if you need to. Have a fantastic week. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.